Now we'll look at pie charts. What do you notice about these pie charts? Do they show a trend? Well, let's have a look. 1981, 1991, and 2001. So we can see time moving on. Let's look at the title. The pie charts illustrate the changes in annual spending by a specific school in the UK from 1981 to 2001. So we can say, yes, these pie charts show a trend. So that means we'll follow the same structure as before. So even if they're pie charts, they can still follow a trend. What do these pie charts represent? Well, using the information given, our introduction would say the pie charts illustrate the expenditure of a particular school in the United Kingdom on 5 different areas between 1981 and 2001. So you can see instead of a key, we have these here, which show where the school spent its money. Now remember, as we said before, you should draw a little line graph to show each trend. Because remember, here there are 5 different trends. Each of these areas of expenditure follow a separate trend. So let's draw one, beginning with other workers' salaries. Look at this, it begins here 28%, it falls to 22%, and then rises again to 15%. So that would look like this one here, wouldn't it? So it's a continual downward fall. Look at teachers' salaries, here it is here, 40%, rises to 50%, and then falls slightly to 45%. So that would be like this. Insurance is this one here, 2 to 3 to 8, so it rises like that. Furniture, 15%, 5%, and then 23%. So that would dip slightly and then rise significantly. And expenditure on resources, it rises from 15% to 20%, and then goes down to 9%. So it would look something like that. So you can see these 5 different line graphs show the trend for each area of spending of the school. So try and do this by yourselves and check your answer in the ebook. These pie charts are a little different to the ones before. Can you spot the difference? Look at the time, 1950, 1990, and there's a prediction to 2025. So how do we tackle a task with a prediction? We must change our tenses. So here, let's look at the introduction. First of all, the title says Agricultural Involvement in Developing and Developed Countries from 1950 to 1990 with an estimation to 2025. So you see how important it is to read the title and to look at all the parts of the graph. So let's think about the introduction. It would read something like this. The pie charts give information about the percentage of people from rich and poor countries that worked in agriculture from 1950 to 1990 with a prediction to 2025. So you can see that we have used all the information and we've changed our tenses for the introduction. That worked in agriculture from 1950 to 1990. So that's for the past, and then we changed our tense with a prediction to 2025. And remember, you can find all of these words for making predictions in your useful language page. So now for the elephant sentence. What stands out about this, about the percentage of people from rich and poor countries that worked in agriculture over this period? Well, when you look at the trend, we can see that in developing countries, involvement in agriculture went down from 81% to 59%, and it will go down even more in the future. In developed countries, there's the same downward trend. So that would be your elephant sentence to describe that. So here we have it here. The first thing to note is that involvement in agriculture in both developing and developed countries fell significantly over the first 40 years, and it is predicted to fall even more by 2025. So here we are. Here it summarizes the information, and this tells us what stands out about what we said in the introduction. Now for the main body. Look how we have separated all the information into separate graphs. So this is what you must do to arrange your information logically, to structure your response so that it's easy to read with appropriate linking words. This one begins more specifically. Now we're going to begin with, of course, developing countries because they had the highest involvement in agriculture. In developing countries in 1950, 81% of the total population worked in agriculture. 40 years later, this figure fell considerably to 59.6%, which is predicted to fall to 37% in 2025. So you can see we have connected the two last sentences with which is predicted to fall. So we've made a complex sentence as well, and we have used the future. So we finished talking about involvement in agriculture in developing countries. Now we move to developed countries, and we use a linking word similarly because the trend is downward again. So listen to this. Similarly, agricultural engagement in both developed countries stood at 37.7% at the beginning of the period and fell significantly to 8.4% in 1990. It is estimated to fall even more to only 2% by 2025. So again, we have described the whole period with the prediction to 2025. So now for the conclusion. From the given data, it is obvious that agricultural involvement was considerably higher in poorer countries, and it is likely to remain higher into the future. So you can find this again in your ebook. Again, study the structure and be ready to describe graphs with predictions into the future.